Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? It is your boy right here, MMA Reloaded. You know what time it is? What time is it? Oh, it's only 7:30. Alright, cool. You know what time it is, folks. It's time once again to go live and direct for MMA Reloaded episode 26 of MMA of On the Mic, folks. You're probably wondering why on MMA Reloaded doing real talk episodes. Well, folks, Real Talk is, as you know, the premium show for MMA Reloaded. On the Mic, folks, is where breakout stars, prospects, standouts get to make their name and stake their claim. So, folks, Real Talk will return. MMA Reloaded Real Talk will return, folks, with episode 54. And that'll be on Tuesday. Yeah, folks, that'll be on Tuesday, folks, with Jerome the Renegade Rivera. So, folks, no need to fret. No need. That'll be on Monday. Sorry, Monday. Monday's the 21st. That'll be on Monday with Jerome Renegade Rivera, folks. So, let me just verify that for y'all. You know what I'm saying? So, let's just have a look at this sheet, boy. Yeah. So Monday the 21st of June, folks, is the return of MMA Reloaded Real Talk, the premium platform for MMA Reloaded for guests to, do their thing, and real deal conversations, real deal shit. Not to say, bro, folks, On the Mic, MMA Reloaded On the Mic has taken off, boom, yeah, because we have had the brightest, the best natural stars. We have had talents, that are breaking out right now, mixed martial arts, that climbing their own ladder, making their own path. Like our guest yesterday, folks, Matt the Beast Bonner, who next week, folks, well, not even next week now, June the 24th, will headline Cage Warriors 123 against Matthias Frederick, who is the Cage Warriors middleweight champion. Matt the Beast Bonner will be challenging him, folks. So it was great to talk to Matt yesterday. Thank you so much for those who tuned in live. If you didn't tune in live, it's all right. You can always tune in anytime, folks. It's live and direct on MMA Reloaded's Facebook page. Folks, if you are on MMA Reloaded YouTube, folks, if you have tuned into MMA Reloaded's page, if you have tuned into my MMA Reloaded Instagram page, folks, in the last, let's say, 10, 15 minutes, you would have seen I did a live merchandise, a live t-shirt experience, MMA Reloaded shirt experience for the fans. Now, let me just clarify the meaning behind doing that video, because it's 10 minutes long, and people may not want to watch it, all of it, they may want to skip to exciting. But folks, that live experience, you see all these guys do like screenshots and stuff, innit? And screen recordings and all that. I mean, I do that too, but I do that because I love to just attract people to go and visit the MMA Reloaded website. Go and visit MMA Reloaded.co.uk. There's more on there than merchandise, than accessories, than hoodies. There's the blog. You can read the blog, folks, as we've got MMA Reloaded behind the curtains, and also you can you can also see the shout out, folks, as well. We've been shouting out since UFC. Francis Ngannou versus Stipe Miocic, folks, was the first event that we posted shout out on our website. So on the website, so folks, that is a revolutionary tool. It's a revolutionary site, folks. So you can go see analysis of fights. You can go see, were the judges right? Were the judges not right making a decision, or was a stoppage correct? You can also check out Relive the Action, where you can relive some MMA combat sport classics from UFC, from Glory Kickboxing, Bellator, PFL. You can also, folks, Check out the merch. The two pieces you see behind me, that's the MMA Reloaded gold and black. If you want your dad to look like a king on Father's Day, that is the shirt to get right there. That, if your dad's a real OG, that is the MMA Reloaded original. Yeah, white and black, boom, bam, boom. Yeah, that is the shirt for real. Yeah, if no bar none, I'm not bad. My creations. Um, so folks, today episode 26 of MMA Reloaded on the mic. I sit with a guy who has really come up uh, through the system. So he started off in jiu-jitsu, started off in Brazilian jiu-jitsu, folks. Won the IBJJF championships in Chicago. He was also a competitor alongside the Memnon warrior Manu Pugh on Street Beefs and was the Street Beef lightweight champion. So we're gonna get his thoughts on we're gonna get his views on that experience. And we're gonna get his views on his grappling experience and also, folks, he's signed to Showtime. He's signed to the Showtime group, folks, headed by Anthony Pettis, and trains at Rufus Sport. Yeah. So, folks, we're gonna do the particulars. Tune in. Yo, welcome back, folks. As I was saying, we are sitting with reckless Rico Tali. And folks, Rico Tali, as I just mentioned, where he competed at Street Beefs, started his career off in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, winning the IBJJF championship. He trains at Rufus Sport. We're going to talk about his career, folks, and the processes, the steps that it's taken throughout its time. You know, folks, he's still an amateur in MMA with a record of 3 wins and 3 losses. So we are going to talk about that. We're going to talk about his grappling career. We're going to talk about everything in between, folks. You know what time it is. MMA Reloaded. And also, folks, I don't know if you caught it last night. PFL 5. Yeah, folks. So PFL 5, basically, all right, brought us a very interesting climax to the welterweight and light heavyweight regular seasons. So what happens, folks? What happened now? What happened, folks, was Rory McDonald is still qualifies for the he still qualifies, folks, for the welterweight playoffs. He's still in the playoffs. Yeah, he's ranked number 2. But the decision of him losing to Gleison Tebow was some bullshit. That was bullshit. So Gleison Tebow took it to Rory early here in round 1. But in round 1 already, Rory was ahead on strikes. Round 2, Rory was piecing him up, and there was, and not to take anything away from Gleison. I mean, from what I saw in the fight, I watched it late in the first round when Gleison was exploding on Rory, and then I watched it the whole second round and half the third round. So it was a pretty even keel fight from what I saw. But Rory McDonald, in my opinion, took 3 rounds easy. He was the better conditioned athlete. He was piecing up Gleison, had him under pressure, landing so many strikes. For his activity last night was crazy. It was nuts, fam. His activity last night was nuts, folks. Was Rory McDonald. But what are you gonna do, fam? What are you gonna do? You can't leave it to the judges. You can't, you can't do that. Not in this game, especially in PFL, where points and wins and finishes count so much. They're so prolific. So, folks, that happened last night. And also, at welterweight, Ray Cooper, the defending season champion, made it through to the playoffs as well. We had great fights. Folks. Chris Camozzi defeating Cesar Montanchi, and folks, one of the veterans of PFL that we should keep an eye on at light heavyweight is Sadibou C. Now, folks, Sadibou C is a striker, yeah, pure striker. He goes in with Nikolai Alexakhin, who was a legit threat in the light heavyweight division. So they come in, right? Sadibou C straight opens up with this, kicking it. Folks, if you want to see John Jones, and if you want to see PFL's version of John Jones as a striker, and Israel Adesanya as a striker, like technique-wise and movement-wise, high physical skill, then Sadibou C is the one to watch. This guy is an absolute savage in the fence, folks. And then we had a fantastic bout. It was a war between Jason Panay, who was basically fighting for the shot at being actually getting into the playoffs. Actually dropped Joao Zeferino, folks, in the second round, and he was hoping to get a finish, but Zeferino did finish Jason Panay by submission, folks. It was an action-packed night all round. Action-packed, folks. You can check out the PFL 5 shout-out on Instagram. It was complete. It was fireworks, folks, from start to finish. Chris Camozzi, Cesar Montanchi, Carla de Zapata, Antonio Carlos Jr., the champ, even Emiliano Sordi, was ended up in a draw. It was a very awkward night for anybody who is a mixed martial arts fan. It was crazy. And if you follow PFL and you know the PFL like point system and shit, and the league and how it stands, you would agree with me that there's some crazy shit that goes on. And one slip, 1 point, 1 round. Sorry, folks. If you don't finish the fight, 1 round, 1 slip, 1 careless move, 1 decision win even could cost you your spot. And that's how important they are getting now. They are getting straight to the pinnacle of this tournament, of this league, folks, of the season, where now we got playoffs. And then, whoever qualifies out of them playoffs, champions will be crowned. The $1 million bonus is on the line. You've got so many things on the line, folks. And now with a star-studded as this season is for PFL, they aren't gonna, nobody's gonna sleep on the playoffs. Trust me, folks. We think we're seeing exciting fights in regular season now to get to the playoffs. But when the playoffs start off, there's gonna be some shit going down there. Trust me. So, folks, like we said, today's episode of MMA Reloaded Real Talk is with Reckless Rico Tali, signed to the Showtime Group, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu specialist, won the IBJJF Championship. Also, Street Beefs competed there. We'll get his thoughts on Street Beef and that experience, because it'll be my first show with a fighter who's actually been through that on that stage, on that platform. Of course, you can watch Street Beefs on YouTube. And then, folks, this Saturday night, tomorrow night, folks, in fact, we will see Bellator, we'll see UFC Vegas 29, headlined by Dan 50K Ige against the Korean zombie Chan Sung Jung. Now, folks, Chan Sung Jung, Korean zombie, he has been in some war, legit war, folks, since returning to mixed martial arts from military duty. He knocked out Dennis Bermudez. He came in and took out Frankie Edgar. He is a legit fighter. But he was in that war with Yair Rodriguez. Lost that one. It was, now, folks, if we see the Korean zombie, if I just pull up his recent form, if I pull up his recent form, folks, we see the Korean zombie, you will see that he is 2-2 in his last 4 fights. Okay, lost to Brian Ortega in what was surefire title eliminator, but because now Brian Ortega is the number 1 contender. But folks, if you look at Korean Zombie, versus Dan Ige, Dan Ige is on fire. He is literally, he's so much on fire, you cannot put him out. He's like 7-1 in his last 8 fights. Coming off that 26-second knockout of Gavin Tucker. He's a real legit martial artist. The guy is a beast, man, in there. There is no rushing. There is no rush in his game. Great timing on his strikes. Just his whole demeanor, his speed, his fucking speed, the strength in his wrestling, the technique. He has everything going for him as a fighter in today's mixed martial arts scene, So, folks, with that being said, Dan Ige is a surefire top 5 contender for sure. If he beats Korean Zombie, then there you have your next title challenger for real. After Brian Ortega and Alexander Volkanov, you have to put Dan Ige in that conversation. Even if Korean Zombie beats Dan Ige, you got to put Korean Zombie in the conversation, back in the conversation, right? There is something real, about the featherweight division. The talents that we got in the featherweight division, the hunger that these guys have to compete. It's real, man. At 145, it's one of the most stacked divisions out there. And if you haven't heard yet, folks, the anticipated bout between Yair Rodriguez and Max Holloway was cancelled. Folks, Max Holloway pulled out of the fight with Yair Rodriguez. It was one of those things where you can't really, I don't know, man. We're looking forward with, we're all hyped up because Yair Rodriguez fighting Max Holloway, but you can't really put damper on you. I mean, someone must have jinxed that. Someone must have put a damper on there. Someone must have shit right on the party. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is at the end of the day, folks. And hopefully Yair and Max Holloway can mix it up on the big stage. We'd love to see it mix up in a 5-rounder. Definitely would be a classic. Of course, anyone who plays UFC 4 dreams about that classic. You know what I mean? And then, folks, Bellator are back as well. Bellator's next couple of events are real deal, folks. With Bellator 260. With Bellator 260, folks, and we will have, and let me just check out, folks, what Bellator brings to us. Folks. We had a new Bellator welterweight champion in Yaroslav Amosov, who's only 27 years old, and he's 26-0 in mixed martial arts. So, folks, what we're gonna see what we're gonna see up next is Tim Johnson against Valentin Moldavsky. Moldavsky. Yeah, folks. Tim Johnson, who's a UFC veteran, at Bellator, he's making his name real heard. And Valentin Moldavsky is a beast. So, folks, then you got Liz Carmouche and Kata Watanabe. Big fight in the women's flyweight division. Daniel Weichel. You got Christian Edwards back. You got Michael Jury versus Sidney Outlaw. Jalon Bates. You got Lee Chadwick back, folks. This is a real fight, man. You got Taylor Johnson. It's going to be an absolute show, folks, for y'all. You know what I'm saying? So, folks, we are set. We are going to get it set, folks, and ready. Hopefully, in the next minute or so, Reckless Rico Tali is ready and waiting for us, folks. Is ready, folks. So, let's just have a look. Cool. So, folks, that's basically our breakdown. So, UFC Vegas 29, PFL 5 last night, Bellator 261 coming up. On June the 25th. And also, folks, I urge you, and I practically beg you to watch season 3 of Karate Combat, folks. Yeah, watch season 3 of Karate Combat. I swear to God, yeah, you guys are gonna be like, what the fuck have I been missing out on? And this is for any martial arts enthusiast, right? This is for any martial arts enthusiast who's passionate about technique and the intensity that comes along with competition. And Karate Combat, folks, the pit, yeah. So it's like a ring surrounded by crash mats, surrounded by barriers. And you got mats in the middle. Then you got these guys, the competitors, the fighters, just come down from the from like lifts or something. Yeah, it's a great show, man. What a show it is! It's like gladiators, folks. Except they don't use props to fight with; they fight with, bam, and these, yeah, folks. So Karate Combat, folks, is going to be all stars. It's going to be all starring, man. For sure, it's going to be an all-star cast this season. I will be breaking it down sooner rather than later. So, folks, that starts July the 19th. Yeah, that starts July 19th. And also, folks, you have to see to believe it. Almighty Fighting Championships, folks. Of course, my love with Cage Steel is still ongoing, folks. And August the 21st, Cage Steel 26 comes back to the Doncaster Dome with the fans in the bleachers, folks. And yours truly, right here, MMA Reloaded, will be there live and direct to analyze it, to shout out for you guys. So make sure you tune into that one, folks. And make sure you guys are tuned into that. If you want your tickets, they are live on MMA Reloaded on Instagram, folks. Just click that link in the bio. Click that link in the bio, man. The Cage Steel link and buy your ticket now. £35 general admission. Yeah, folks. Well, man, you know what time it is about. It's real time, man. It's real time. So, folks, also another promotion, folks, is Almighty Fighting Championships, which I am proud and I'm pleasured to be sponsoring, folks. So it's run by Ray Thompson, and well, it looks like Rico Tali's ready, folks. So Almighty Fighting Championships will have to wait. Yeah. Hey man, the summit. I can't hear you, brother. I can't hear you, bro. Nah. God damn. Yeah, boy. So
can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you, brother. What's going on, Rico? What's going on, Rico? How you doing, brother?
Good. Just got done with training and stuff like that. About to, head home and all that good stuff. How you feeling, man?
I'm doing very well, man. I'm doing well, man. Thank you, bro. Thank you so much for coming on the show, man. I hope training was all good for you, brother.
Finishing touches on the preparation. Is flying out next Thursday, and ready to go.
Yep, and we're gonna touch on that fight real soon, man, because I wanna touch on that with you too, bro. So for people who don't know who Rico Tali is and who the Reckless One is, bro, how did it all start for you in martial arts and combat sports, bro?
Yeah, so I started training. Like, I think the very first martial art I took was karate. I kind of liked it, but I didn't stick with it. It wasn't until I started wrestling in middle school is where like I got more in tune with it. And eventually, once I got into high school, I continued wrestling, and then I started training jiu-jitsu and kickboxing. And then I just fell in love with it. And eventually, I started competing shortly after. And the rest is just history. And it just took off from there.
And of course, people know you for your Brazilian jiu-jitsu background, bro. How did it start for you in Brazilian jiu-jitsu as well,
man? So in jiu-jitsu, actually my best friend Latrell, we was having like a little scuffle like school, and so he kept doing all these moves on me. I didn't know what it was. Like, he was triangling me, arm bar me. I'm just like, bro, like, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? He's like, it's jiu-jitsu. I was like, oh. And so he invited me to come to his gym, and which was like, it was called Maxim Gym. It's in Hope, Indiana. I had went there for, several years. And then once I got hooked on the first class as a teenager doing jiu-jitsu, I just went from there. And then I think like 2 months after my first class, I was competing. So right after my first tournament, I ended up taking double gold, and I'll compete again, and I just kept medaling in every tournament, and then I just fell in love with jiu-jitsu, man.
And that's beautiful, bro. And of course, you basically when you started off, you basically got a range of everything, then, bro. Because you got a range of karate starting out, then you got a range of wrestling in middle school, and now jiu-jitsu, bro, which has become, sort of like what fans know you for best, bro. And um, yeah, man, that's great, bro. And for you, man, in 8 nights, Rico, you're going to be stepping into a boxing ring, bro. Black Prime, promoted by Black Prime, bro. How did that all come about with you, man? How did the call really and the deal with Black Prime and the whole boxing thing come around, man?
Yeah, so with that started, like I seen the signups and stuff like that. They look for boxers to, participate for the organization, and I had no interest in signing up. But like a guy had tagged me in it, and he called me out and said, "Yo, this would be a great opportunity. I want to fight you, this and that." And for me personally, when I get called out, it's like I have to show up. You know what I mean? Otherwise, I feel like to me, I'm a little like a punk or a sissy or something like that. So they hit me up, send me the bout agreement, all the details, and now here we are. We're gonna box them literally in like 5 days.
Yeah, bro, and of course, Memnon's competing with you as well, man, on the same night. So when was it the same for him as well? Like, did he get tagged in a post on IG and respond to that like you did?
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened. We both got called out, and we both just answered. We both just answered the call, just like, all right, man, let's go.
But what is what's gonna be the deal? Is it gonna be an exhibition matchup like 6 rounds or 7 rounds, or what's the deal with that, bro?
So it's technically considered like a exhibition match. Like it doesn't count on like an official record or nothing per se, but like they still like compensate you, like pay for your.
Yeah. Sorry, bro.
Like
yeah. Sorry, Rico, brother. You just cut out there, bro, for me. It just broke up for a while. Thanks.
Screen is it's a little. Oh, there you go. It was you were frozen for a second.
Yeah, I know, man. So were you, bro. So yeah, bro. So what's the deal with Black Prime?
So as far as like what Black Prime, like I believe they're partnered up with Street Beats as far as just like trying to get media exposure, things like that. And now they're starting like their own like little boxing organization. Pretty much is upcoming on the rise. And they also do like scouting too. So like other major boxing promotions, they'll be there watching, seeing like the next up and coming talent, who could they sign, and things like that, etc. So it's a great opportunity, just to get the name out there, the exposure, the experience, and things like that.
100%, bro. 100%, man. And that's what it's all about, right, bro? It's taking these opportunities to fight at these things, bro. And so like we were saying, I think you cut out, bro, just at that time when you were just explaining if it was an exhibition and what the rules are gonna be at Black Prime, bro.
Yeah, so it's gonna be 6 rounds, and it's gonna be 2-minute rounds and 12-ounce gloves.
Oh shit! But so I mean, but how do you feel, man? How are you feeling right now, physically and mentally coming into sort of that environment, bro?
Yeah, so mentally, I feel super great, super prepared because I boxed before as a amateur, so I got the experience in boxing, and physically, it's the best shape that I've been in for any of my camps. So my weight's on point. Literally, don't gotta cut any weight. And I'm just super excited. I'm just ready to go out there and and face the man that's in front of me.
And then, of course, bro, tell me about your grappling career, man. Because obviously, that's where Rico Tali made the name. That's where the name was made, basically. But so you started out, of course, at the IBJJF, bro, and trained under Armando Reina, in Indiana. Then tell me about the IBJJF, bro, because of course you were the champ at IBJJF Chicago. Tell me about that experience and how you go into sort of that type of competition, man.
Yeah, so doing IBJJF, like beforehand, like my first major tournament was in 2016, and then leading on. But my first actual tournament was in 2013 when I was a kid. So I did a couple of Nagas, things like that. They kind of count for something, but not as much as per se at IBJJF because it's more prestigious in its own right. But once I did that, I just felt like it took me to another whole different like playing field because you got like all the world class competitors there. So winning the IBJJF is like it really means something on your resume. Like you're the best of the best, world class talent at that point. So the first one I ended up winning was in 2016 when I was a wife up. The next one I would win was 3 years later in 2019. I ended up winning no in that division.
Okay. God damn. Also, I apologize for that 100%. Let's see if we can get Rico back on there, so we can have a proper chat. Let's just have a look. So I'm just trying to situate this right now, folks. Folks, we're in a just chill for a while, and then Rico Charlie should be back, folks. Apologize for the signal. Of course, it's not great when these guys are driving. So, these guys are driving. Sometimes the signal just cuts. It just cuts out for a while. So, it fucking sucks sometimes. Well, we should have Rico Charlie back on the stage, bro. stay tuned. Stay there. Don't go anywhere. So, folks, goddamn, goddamn, sheep. I apologize for that, folks, for sure. So hopefully we can get Rico back on ASAP, and we can just chop it back up. folks, welcome back. I apologize for the error just a moment ago with Reckless Rico Tali. It was just one of them things, folks, where the phone signals are just fucked up. The phone signals are just completely fucked. Yeah. So we were supposed to kick off at 8 p.m. UK time, 2 p.m. Time in Milwaukee. So, folks, we joined up, we're talking it up, and I mean, I don't know what to say, folks. I apologize though for the signal error, man. So Rico Tali, folks, will join up in a few minutes. He'll join back up in a few minutes, folks. If you haven't watched the live T-shirt experience on MMA Reloaded on Instagram, folks, please watch it, folks. It is basically a breakdown all of the logo and emblem collection T-shirts, folks, MMA Reloaded merch that I have. So that we have, folks. So what I did basically, folks, I talked you through every single shirt, every single design, the blood drip design, the emblem, the logo, and folks, I sincerely just talked about it, and I explain the ones that do have that meaning along with them, So, folks, we are live and direct, and I want to thank everyone who stayed with us during that time. So, during this time, folks, Reckless Rico Tali will join us back, folks, in a few minutes when he gets back to his home. So, folks, in that meantime, go check out any other episode of MMA Reloaded on the mic, starting with episode 1 all the way now to episode 26, which is this one, folks. Of course, you might want to fast forward this one when you watch it, but folks, go watch him. Great show, great shows, man. It's been a pleasure to sit down with great guests over the months since lockdown, folks, since the pandemic was hitting its prime, and now that it could be coming back with this Delta wave or whatever the shit fucking is called. Yeah. We could, it's my pleasure, it's my pride, my love to always bring and always keep you guys entertained here at MMA Reloaded. So, folks, like I was saying actually before Rico came on, so Almighty Fighting Championship, folks, is another promotion aside from Cage Steel, which is which is special to me because one of the owners, one of the chairmen of the promotion, Ray Thompson, is a great guy. He's I've known him for quite a few years, folks, 5-6 years, I would say, and I've been wanting to get him on MMA Reloaded Real Talk, folks, for a while. And so I will have that opportunity to get him on MMA Reloaded Real Talk because he is returning with live events, folks, Almighty Fighting Championships. And yours truly, folks, right here, I'll be sponsoring 2 of those events. So the events start August the 7th, and then September, folks, as well, October. So it is a very, very, very busy time for UK MMA, British MMA, yeah, folks. So I will have Ray Thompson, one of the CEOs, one of the chairmen of Almighty Fighting Championships, a promotion based in Coventry and Leeds. They're doing shows this year in Liverpool, in Gateshead, Newcastle. It's gonna be a real atmosphere, folks. Anyone in the UK who hasn't been to a mixed martial arts event live, there is nothing like it. There is no thrill like it, for real. So, folks, please do buy your tickets to that one, man. And it's gonna be a pleasure to have my logo pasted and plastered in the canvas. All right, Corbin. pace and plastered on the canvas, folks, and also have Almighty Fight Championships saying my brand name as a sponsor, man. It'll be a proud to sponsor that. So Ray Thompson, folks, one of the promoters at Almighty Fighting Championships, will be on the show, folks. I will have him on MMA Reloaded Real Talk. Yeah. Tuesday, folks. It will come on Tuesday, the 22nd of June. So for us, folks, it is going to be a real special time. It's Ray's my friend, so it's a real special show, folks. And also, don't miss it because I'll be sitting with Almighty Fighting Championship fighters, the fighters who will be competing at AFC events throughout those 4 shows. So tune into those as well, folks. Tune into Cage Steel. I'll be live and direct in the Dome August 21st. Seeing it for myself, analyzing it for myself, the whole deal. Hopefully catch up with some of the fighters after the fights. It'll be a great time, folks. It'll be a great show, no doubt about that. So that's your British MMA scene really covered. Yeah, Cage Steel, Almighty Fighting Championships, Cage Warriors. If you're in the UK, yeah, and you're an MMA fan, that's your sorted. You're sorted right there. So folks, aside from that, it is one of the biggest times of in mixed martial arts. I think we see that as MMA grows and fighters become more knowledgeable, they think, okay, cool. So I've come in the UFC, come back, come here for. I have all the hype around me, yeah, but I'm not getting paid. That's a big thing right now, yeah. That's one of the biggest issues right now in MMA is pay. Here's my 2 cents before Rico joins back, folks. Here's my 2 cents, yeah, literally. All right. So if you want better pay, fight for it. Yeah. Fight in the cage for it. Everything gets settled in that cage. Nobody is gonna give you anything on a silver motherfucking platter. And let me tell you why. Yeah, it's because you are not a kid. You are an adult. Whether you're 21, 22, you're stepping into an adult's game and a man's world, a woman's world. Yeah, you are stepping into mixed martial arts, combat motherfucking sports. Now, if you didn't want to do this for a living, yeah, why the hell did you get into it? You got into it to fight, to be the best, right? For those who did it for money, I mean, just for money, yeah, it's fucked up because this is not a sport, yeah, that is just gonna, that you're gonna take a bath in $100 bills with. You're gonna be working hard. You're gonna be fucking committing 25 hours a day, 7 days a week, dedicated the other fucking hours. You're gonna be, your hands are gonna be blistered, your face is gonna be scarred. You're gonna be off your nut every day, yeah, as a mixed martial artist, as a boxer, as a kickboxer, whatever combat sport you decide to do. This is not a sport for the faint-hearted. I am afraid not. Yeah, this is not a sport for the faint-hearted. This is a sport for the real heart. This is a sport for the real one. You don't want to, sway away and talk this shit, talk that shit, talk this, talk that. Yeah, but all that talk, all that bitching and moaning for money ain't gonna mean shit. Yeah, when you step in the cage in your next fight, you get knocked the fuck out. Yeah, and so folks, I apologize for swearing, but I had to just get that out. So whilst we're waiting for Rico Tali, it's one of those things, folks. Yeah, where for me, and I'm sure for many others, it's about respect. It's about respect because the tradition and sort of like the early days of the UFC, guys used to leave their blood, their sweat, their tears out in the cage, out in the octagon. There was trash talk. There were rivalries, but guys used to leave it all in the cage. It was one of those things that you can just take your eyes off, you know. It was something that a lot of people are a lot of people look at right now. They look at those days when Randy Couture fought Chuck Liddell, where Tito Ortiz fought Ken Shamrock, where Matt Hughes and Frank Trigg fought, where Hoist Gracie and Matt Hughes fought, where Hoist Gracie and Ken Shamrock fought, Dan Severn fought, Mark Coleman. Those types of days are days which really make you think nowadays as a mixed martial arts fan. If you were a mixed martial arts fan back then, it makes you think now, why the fuck? It's changed so much, and one of the reasons why it has changed so much is because of social media. Right? It's changed real because of social media, folks. So what we do, folks, is I know for all my man in the UK, England, all playing Scotland. Yeah, so we're just gonna check that out right now real quick. So it's 0-0 in the match, folks. I know this is MMA Reloaded, but folks, I have to. I'm English, man, 100%, bro. This is a big ass game for me, man. It's a big ass game for us. So, folks, it is. I mean, to be honest, here, folks, it is what it is. If in MMA, if you want to talk and you want to, do all this hype and self-hype thing on social, then you're gonna be fucked, because if you get knocked out and you come into a promotion with hype, they expect hype from So all this talk from fighters puts a lot more pressure on that fighter. It put pressure on Conor McGregor. He might not want to admit it, yeah, but Dustin Poirier fucked him up. And all that activity Dustin Poirier doing and did, beating 6 world champions, including now Conor McGregor. This is not a fun and games anymore, man. For Conor, this is not 2014-15. This is real shit. Yeah, and Dustin Poirier is a real fighter. And so Rico Tali's back, folks. Let's do this, man. Once again, folks. Let's start right from the top. Yeah? Yes, bro. So, yes, Rico. Internet. Bro, I can't hear you right now. Shit. Fuck. What's going on here, though? So, ooh. Unmute the video. Unmute the audio. Yes, man. Yes, bro. God damn. Shit. But so Rico, brother. So I just want to start from the top. Yeah, let's start again. Yeah, let's fucking just rewind this shit a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So so folks, ladies and gentlemen, I am sitting here with Rico Tali. He is a standout out of the Showtime group, Ruthless Sport, and he will compete in less than a week now, yeah, at Black Prime Boxing. So Rico, brother, for the fans, yeah, and because it cut out, yeah, bro, when you were driving, how did it begin for Rico Tani? How did it start for for you, bro, in martial arts and combat sports? Bro?
Yeah. So in martial arts, when I was 11, I started out in karate, did that for a year, tried it out. The next year, I tried out for boxing, did that for a year. I was like, okay. But when I started wrestling in middle school, I did it for the 2 years in middle school. I was just like, okay, I think I found something I really like. And then I did it in high school. And then during that same time, I also started doing jiu-jitsu and kickboxing while in high school with the wrestling. And I just fell in love with it. And that's how I got started.
Oh, so you were basically mixed martial arts from young. Yeah,
Yes,
it was everything,
sir.
everything, bro. Uh, so so let's talk about now. Yeah, let's talk about how you are in your career right now, bro. So we were talking about your IB double JF championship, bro, in Chicago, and tell me about that experience and how it was preparing to go into that tournament and into that layout. Of course, you were training under Armando Reina at Elite BJJ at the time. How did that? How was it coming into the IBJJF?
So yeah, doing it IBJJF, you know what I'm saying? The training was always the same. You know, we're training super hard, you know, in the gi, no gi, just getting ready, you know, strictly jiu-jitsu, doing the drills, doing positional drills, you know, working out of bad position, things like that. And going to the tournament, I already knew it was gonna be tough guys. These are all the best in the world from around the country. So I had to treat it like that, you know, like I was, you know, I was in a like I'm in a world championship fighter for my life, and that's how it was. You know what I mean? I'm going against the best guys, first round, second round, third, fourth, fifth round, and the fifth round. You know, I'm in the last match with the last guy. He beat everybody on the side of bracket. I beat everybody on the side of bracket, and then I beat him, and then I just ended up winning like my first, like one of my first major tournaments that's on my resume as far as like my accolades, and and that changed my life. You know, doing that experience and doing it at such a high level, I knew I was able to keep up with world-class athletes.
Yeah, but and did that give you, a vindication? And was that like your thing to say, you know what, Rico, you made it in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. This is all that hard work pay off.
Uh, I wouldn't necessarily say I made it, but it was something to myself. It was kind of like something to prove to myself that I could do it because it's still a lot more I want to achieve in jiu-jitsu. But it was one of those things that gave me like that self boost as far as that confidence that knowing that I am capable of doing something like that.
And of course, it's such a prestige. The reason why I said about it is because it's a prestigious platform, right? The IBJJF platform is, I mean, it's real, bro, all over the world.
Yeah.
And to win something like that is, it's a real reward for you, man. So about so preparing at Elite, yeah, and training under Armando Reina, bro. How was that experience, and tell me about how it felt to be in that environment at Elite before moving to Milwaukee.
Yeah, so at Maximum Gym under Armando Reina, like I said, I was with him for 7 years up until I moved to Milwaukee. And coming in, he kind of gave me like that dad vibe, just such a father figure I could look up to and understand. And he would be on me at times like I was his own son, and he always wanted the best for me. So training with him, it was always just show up. Especially when I was in high school, show up to school, be on time, get good grades, then you could come here, afterwards, as long as you keep up those good grades. And I was motivated to do good in school because I knew if I did good in school, I could come to the gym afterwards, what I'm saying? I'm supporting him whether I did good that day or not. So to me, it was always a reward. And then even after high school, even after I stayed with him, it was still a reward to me because I still got to train, still got to learn and just develop myself as a human being and as a martial artist.
Yeah, 100%, bro. And of course, it's always a great way to start out when you have that gym that you can call home. Because did it give you sort of that confidence after you left Elite to say that, you know what, Rico, now you can go anywhere and not feel pressure. You know, was that attitude, or because you were so comfortable at Elite, going somewhere else would just feel unnatural?
Um, I always, like I said, being at Maximum, I was gonna feel at home and things like that. But going to Ruby Sport, it's a little bit different there. Didn't know nobody, had to get used to all the people, meet all them. So I mean, the best thing, I said all the time, in order to be comfortable, we got to get uncomfortable, and it was just one of those things for me.
Yeah, and bro, Rufus Sport. I mean, you can't go wrong. It's legendary shit out there, man.
Yeah.
But how did that come about, man? How did and what prompted the move to Milwaukee, bro, and eventually joining Rufus Sport?
Yeah. So my friend and brother, Midnight Warrior, he ended up doing the trials and getting signed. And fortunately, I couldn't do the trials because I had a fight that same day. So I opted to do the fight instead of the tryouts. So maybe literally like 2 months later, I went to River Sports, go up there and train just to help Emmanuel out, you know what I mean? And I guess the guy kind of liked it, seeing what I was doing as far as like grappling and striking wise. And they had offered me a scholarship with the Showtime group. And, sent it to me. I read bouts and, what I'm saying, the, agreement, signed it. And then before I knew it, I was moved in maybe like 3 weeks later, moved everything from Indiana, left it, and came up here. Now I'm just up here, training full time and coaching and working.
And to you, Rico, training with, greats in the sport, like, because Rufus Sport, bro, you got yourself, the Memnon Warrior, you got Ruffian Starts, you got Paul Felder, who used to train there, bro. You got Bilal Muhammad. So you got a real mix of guys, bro. Guys who have been there and done it. Then you got yourselves who are futures of the sport, man. How does it feel when you have that guy in a manual who you can sort of lean on as like a partner, as like a tag team partner in there?
I mean, it feels really good to know, that I have him here with me because we come from this, the same roots, the same backgrounds, just two young, hungry kids just trying to make it be better for ourselves, better for our futures, our family, and things like that. So I know that we come from that same struggle, that same grind. Everything to us is just so much more that we appreciate it because we literally come from nothing. So we try to do everything in our power that way we can make something of ourselves.
Does that motivate you a lot more, bro? The fact that you are at Rufus Sport, but at the end of the day, you come from the background that you come from, and basically going through the system. I mean, when you were at Maximum, you still had a 9 to 5 job, bro. You were working, you're working normal job. You know what I'm saying? And now Rufus Sport fighting and coaching full time. How how is that, bro? Does that motivate you a lot more to work harder and sort of raise your game up?
Yeah, I definitely had to work way harder than I had before because, seeing guys like Anthony Pettis, Sergio Pettis, Rafael Stotts, Emmanuel Sanchez, all those guys who've been in there, both for titles, won world titles, you know what I'm saying? I'm just so motivated because seeing where they started and how they coming from the same roots, I know that I can do it for myself too. I just really got to work hard and put my mind to it and truly believe that I can get to that level. So it's just such an inspiration because you got all these guys in the room who achieved the same thing. And I know one day I'll be able to do the same thing.
100%. And if we talk about the influence of the Pets, bro, yeah, and the influence of guys like Emmanuel Sanchez, I mean, as a young fighter coming up, yeah, Rico, do you feel that, all right, cool, there's the ball, yeah, and it's been set, and so it's up to me to walk in and reach it.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, with those guys, it's just the standard is just so high. You know what I mean? You just always want to achieve greatness for yourself, and you can never have a lazy day or quit on yourself because if you do it, you know what I'm saying, you're doing it to yourself. It doesn't hurt anybody but you. So I always want to try to give your best 100% day in, day out.
100%. And coming from Maximum, bro, which was focused on, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, and when you were competing in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu to now Rufus Sport, bro, how do you think it's impacted you, like becoming a more well rounded fighter? Because of course, you've done everything, bro. You had a background in everything, boxing and wrestling, but now as a as a proper fighter, moving up and raising up your game, how has moving to Rufus Sport sort of helped you develop your well-rounded MMA skill?
Yes, but with Duke Rufus and Scott Cushman, the two main coaches for MMA, they definitely helped me out a lot as far as like with my striking and being able to help mix it in with my takedowns and things like that. It's pretty much everything to make me better than more better than I am or thought I am. So it just really them two people alone just really helped me become a better martial artist.
Yeah, that's great, man. You can't get any more influence, any more like motivated, and look up to two better people than Scott Cushman and Duke Rufus, bro. Two legends out there in the game, and they've trained so many greats, So it must be a blessing for you, man, overall to be training where you are and to be where you're at right now.
Yeah. And then with those two guys, they've been doing it for like 20, 30, 40 years. If I got literally ask them anything, pick their brain as far as like knowledge and things like that. So,
yeah, 100%, bro. Like when you're there in front of the people that you're in front of, picking brains is 100, man. It's a must do.
Yeah, for sure. Like I'm just always happy just to have them there.
So then in 8 nights, yeah, Rico, you're gonna be competing at Black Prime, bro, boxing. And we were talking about that, but how you? I think we didn't catch it last time, but physically and mentally, Rico. Of course, it's been a while since you fought last. How do you feel, bro, physically and mentally coming into that environment, that fight?
Yeah, mentally, I feel, sharp as ever, feel, strong mentally, what I'm saying? Because I had that experience in boxing and being there. Physically, my body feels very well rounded. My cardio, my condition as well. My power is feeling really well. So I've been preparing and training really well, doing the right things, eating well as far as like my diet, things like that. And I'm just ready to go out there for war, man.
What was the last time you stepped into a boxing ring, bro?
I think the last time I stepped into a boxing ring, I want to say July of last year, I believe.
Oh, dang.
July, August of last year.
Oh, dang. So were you still competing then as an amateur boxing, bro?
Correct. Yes, sir.
Yeah, you were competing as an amateur boxer. So it's not that long of a layoff then, bro. To come back into Black Private. And bro, this exhibition boxing scene, bro. Like Black Prime and like we see at Thriller and all these things. What are your thoughts on that, bro? And what are your thoughts on them type of scenes? Like celebrity boxing and them calling out guys like you and Memnon. But it must be some crazy shit because you're like, who the fuck am I fighting, bro?
Yeah, it's always interesting because like when people, call us out and stuff like that, it's kind of like in a way you kind of have to answer it or you look like a punk or, whatever. But I've seen it as a great opportunity to fight for Black Prime, and we just took the opportunity. So now, little less than a week, we get to go out there, show what we've been doing, showing and how we've been training, and just go out there and put on the show.
It's all about that hunger, man. It's Hunger Games out there, for sure. So what I wanna talk about coming in and IBJJF. That was just the beginning. Elite Maximum BJJ. That was just the beginning. You were also at Street Beats, and people know you from that because they're like on the comments. If you read the comments on Rufus Sport when you guys were sparring one time. And he goes, man, those are the two guys from Street Beefs, bro. That's and you actually lightweight champion at Street Beefs, right? But with Street Beefs, I think what people forget to understand is why those types of things are really set up in the first place, bro. So tell me, talk to me, Rico. What attracted you to compete at Street Beefs, man?
Yeah, so during the pandemic, I was supposed to have another amateur fight, but it was scheduled for March 15th, but they shut down everything March 13th, so 2 days before. So obviously the fight got canceled and everything else. And so I was watching Street Beats way back in high school. I was always thought it's fun, something to do, but I myself was never gonna do it. until I had commented on the video. This guy was showing off his striking, something like that. Like one of those critique videos. And I was like, hey, you should hold your hands up more, a little bit, this and that. And the guy pretty much was just like, well, maybe you should come show me in the yard. Maybe we could fight about it. And I wasn't trying to be, a-hole about anything. But I was like, okay. So I went down there to Virginia because that's what Street Beast said, like the main headquarters is or whatever. Went down there, fought, beat the guy, won. They invited me back to fight for the belt, won, and then the rest was history, and then just kind of like blew up from there. So literally, it was just in a matter of the pandemic happening and me just trying to stay active and busy that I found Street Beefs.
To you, but what's the idea behind Street Beef? Yeah, because I mean, everyone has different perspectives. Like you get kids and athletes and fighters, street fighters from different walks of life, coming to this backyard setting, yeah, and where the people in the ring, and fight it out, bro. So what's in your opinion, Rico? What's the idea behind Street?
So the idea behind Street Beef is the guy that created the Scarface, Christopher Wilmore. He made it essentially like, to stop the violence within the community, stop the gun violence, people stabbing each other, killing each other, things like that. So he originally made it to like settle, disputes or beefs between two people, and they would come fight in his backyard, and, they would beat each other up, and then they would be done. And then at the end of the day, they would shake up and hug about it, and the beef would be settled. And then eventually it started evolving more than just the beef fights. It started more for guys that wanted to compete, test themselves, maybe not ready for an amateur or pro career, and they went there and fought just to, see what their skills and stuff and things like that was. And so it pretty much was just an organization, and still is an organization, just to help people get better themselves, settle beefs, maybe grow, maybe, get their skills up, things like that. So what he's doing with Street Beefs, I just truly recommend it. Highly give praise to him always, and he helped me out a lot when, me and Minna fought for him. So, I gave nothing but respect to Chris.
It's 100, but it's humbling, bro, to actually know that you can start out as something like that. And that's like the amateur before the amateurs, bro. So, and then you also have an amateur career, man.
Yep, sir.
3-3. And I was saying, I was looking at the record, bro. You fought 3 times in less than 6 months. I was and I was like, what the fuck, bro? It was May, it was March, June. Shit. So, but what actually comes? Well, how did those come out? Were they short notice fight some of them, or did you take those contracted, bro?
Yeah, for the vast majority of my career, most was short notice. They would call me up in a week or two, and I was just ready to hop in there. Then for a few of them, I had a full camp. I was just always that guy, just ready to go. Stayed in the gym, didn't care who it was. Top 10, former champ, current champ. I was just ready to go out there and fight.
And as an amateur, bro, in amateur MMA, and your amateur career right now, like what lessons have you taken from those fights? Like, because I love touching on this with people, bro, is that amateur career, it helps you with the time in the cage, with getting the experience in the cage, and how has that been for you, Rico?
Yeah, so my time in an amateur and my time at Street Beast, actually Street Beast helped me in a way, because as an amateur, I will always kind of like play away from my strengths. But at Street Beast, I kind of played to what I was good at, and it helped me realize not to never stick away from what I'm good at, to really play against my strengths. Like if my skill set is grappling, why am I going to go out there and strike with somebody? I just want to go out there, grapple, set it up, get it going. So it actually helped me develop myself more as a fighter as to what I can be and what I should be doing.
And Street Beef, can you grapple at Street Beef, bro? Like, talk man, because I guess what people see from Street Beefs is the knockout reel, man, highlight reel. But yeah, man, I think we forgot that as Street Beefs you can actually use your jiu-jitsu out there, bro.
Yeah.
So in your career right now, Rico, yeah, and in terms of nutrition, and in terms of weight cut, in terms of routine at Ruthless Sport, bro, how do you think are you are you sort of evolving with that sort of and maturing along with it to learn more about how to control nutrition and weight cut and stuff like that, bro?
Yeah, for sure. Because too, here being a part of the Showtime group, they actually give us a nutritionist. So they, they talk to us about the ideas, measure your body fat, things like that, water intake, see what you're eating. And two, I'm learning more things about my body that I never knew before. Like, if I know if I go hard for 2-3 hours, I know how much I gotta eat, what I gotta eat, as far as like to refill myself. That way I can, be ready for the next practice.
Yeah, man. No, 100, bro. And still you're still young in your career. So how important um is nutrition for you, man? Literally, when you do go into fight, yeah, or if even if you're inactive, fighting, bro, and you haven't fought in say 1, 2, 3 years, say something like that. How important is keeping that nutrition up, bro? Even if you're not fighting.
It's really important because, like I said, you don't want to, you don't want to go out there eating Pop Tarts and Snickers all the time. You know what I'm saying? And you trying to fight in like a month. You always want to keep yourself disciplined. It's one of the things. If you stay disciplined with your body and your nutrition, you always will feel good about yourself.
Yeah, 100 point. I was gonna say, because of that IBJJF experience, and you said that you still have a lot that you want to still do in grappling and jiu-jitsu, bro. And I was thinking, it just fucking popped up right now. But the grappling scene right now, bro, is Main Street. Yeah,
Yeah.
from ADCC to Polaris to Submission Underground to
Mhm.
shit, man. You name it, man. They got it. Would you be, because of your amateur career and your last fight being in 2019, you must be biting your nails, bro, to think that you wanna go back into that environment, And of course, Black Prime Boxing, you'll be stepping into a boxing ring. But would you love to go into ADCC or Submission Underground and compete grappling again, bro?
Yeah. So my last grappling tournament, I just had it, and was it May or April this year? I competed at Grappling Industries in Gee, and I ended up taking gold.
Oh, bro, because they don't report these things, bro. Um, no, man, that's wicked, bro. Whereabouts was that? Was that local to you, bro? Was it?
Yeah, it was in Wisconsin Dells.
Oh, nice, bro. So you found so you found the outlet, bro. And but them these types of things like exhibition boxing or going to do grappling tournaments, bro. Does it take away from the frustration that you haven't been in the cage in this many months?
Yeah, because I mean, to me, long as I stay active, whether it was in the cage, grappling, doing a kickboxing tournament, things like that, as long as I'm staying active, that's the biggest thing to me.
Okay. And lastly, Rico, for to just put it to wrap it all up, man. And I want to just talk about your inspiration, people who you looked up to coming into this sport. Uh, who are some of your inspirations, boy, and coming into this game?
Some of my inspirations for sure probably be, Armando, just because, that's who I started with. And he told me everything, from like 16 to 23. My mom, just because my mom as a child, she worked 3 or 4 jobs, and growing up, we were super poor, what I'm saying, like on food stamps, welfare, staying in the ghetto. But my mom never once complained. She was always working multiple jobs just to make sure we could play sports. We could have those, nice cleats that we wanted, the jerseys and uniforms that we need. And just some of the guys who've been around the sport and always carried themselves well. Guys like Anderson Silva, Fedor, GSP. All the guys who were true martial artists, in and out, inside the ring, outside of the ring. Bruce Lee, Muhammad Ali. It just those are just a few people who have been such an inspiration in my life and just a motivating factor that I could be better than what I can be. Like I always try to be better than what I was yesterday.
And then when you said your mother inspired you, bro, you say you could stop there, man. That was it. Yeah, because because Fedor, GSP, and Silva, they're great. But of course, man, everyone's mother is great. That's the real role model right there, man. But yeah, bro. Rico, thank you so much, man, for agreeing to do this, man, and coming on the show, brother. It's been a real experience to talk to you, man. And I apologize, man, for early on on the road and all that stuff, bro. But we got to chop it up, man, and I'm glad we did, bro.
Thank you, man. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of the show and just talk a little bit, man. I truly appreciate it.
No, man, definitely, man. We need to do this again sometime.
Yes, sir.
100%, bro. Thank you so much, Rico, man. It was a real pleasure, brother.
Thank you, brother.
Respect, bro.